Did you know that only 10% of cancers are inherited? The other 90% are caused by things we're exposed to in the environment around us. You and your family can make your own cleaning products, vinegar, baking soda, alcohol, lemon. It's all you need. And I bet you have most of those things in your house already. Cancer can be a very scary thing. Believe me, I know. But we're not here to scare you. So embrace the detox lifestyle. But remember, no pressure with Drescher. Peace. One of the very progressive programs of Cancer Schmancer is Detox Your Home, because the home is the most toxic place we spend the most time in.
So many chemicals, right?
So many chemicals, from what we're putting in our mouth, on our skin, all of our personal care items, including oral hygiene, what we clean and garden with. So we teach you how to just start replacing the old stuff as you go to the market with new stuff, and why. And that's the beginning. And then once you get into that, and it's really a whole family project, because kids today, for the first time in U.S. history, are predicted to not live as long as their parents. Babies are being born pre-polluted with 200 to 300 chemicals found in the umbilical cord. American women's breast milk has the highest percentage of flame retardant in it from any other woman on the planet. And, you know, 1 out of 2 men and 1 out of 3 women are anticipated to get cancer in their lifetime. So we're definitely moving in the wrong direction, slipping down a rabbit hole towards our own demise. But the good news is that we can turn this around. And how do we do that? With all knowledge, because knowledge is power, and good old-fashioned all-American consumerism. We can actually dictate more responsible manufacturing trends and reduce our risk. And, you know, at the end of the day, manufacturers don't want to kill us. They want to sell us. And they'll sell us anything that we're willing to buy, which right now, unfortunately, is anything. So I want to transform you from being a patient into a medical consumer. And I want you to go home with a game plan. Now I know what I need to do. And I want you to feel empowered instead of impotent, that people around you, if not yourself, are getting, you know, sick. We're getting more dumbed down and numbed out to sickness and the causation of sickness. We're too heavily focused on reductionist medicine, which is look at the symptom and let's try and stop the symptom, instead of shifting or pivoting our focus on what is the cause of cancer and let's eliminate it. Let's not get cancer in the first place. How's that for a cure? We put more time and energy into buying, selling, and repairing our automobile than we do our own body. So we at Cancer Schmancer say, take control of your body and don't give anyone power of attorney over it. It's your body, it's your life, and we shouldn't be this sick. We shouldn't be this pharmaceutical dependent. There's a lot of money in sickness, not a lot of money in wellness. When I meet a woman and she says, I was just diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, I say, you know what, honey, I hope that's what you've got. But for a moment, step away from your gastroenterologist, go to your gynecologist and rule out ovarian cancer, because at ovarian cancer's earliest and most curable stage, it mimics identically IBS. And even for my cancer, they said I was perimenopausal. Why? Because most women that get uterine cancer are either obese or postmenopausal, but 25% are young and thin, as I was. So that's 1 out of 4 women. To me, that shouldn't be ignored then. But doctor number 1 said I was too young for an endometrial biopsy or a DNC, which would have conclusively diagnosed me, even though I had the exact symptoms of uterine cancer. Because I was young and thin, they said, It's got to be perimenopause. Had I known then what I know now, it wouldn't have taken me so long to get a proper diagnosis. But by the grace of God, because it happens to be a very slow-growing cancer, I was still in stage 1. And stage 1 is the cure. Catch it on arrival, 95% survival. So I started to think, why isn't everybody being diagnosed in stage 1? The reason why we lose loved ones to cancer is almost always due to late-stage diagnosis. And that's because we're not recognizing the early warning whispers. At that stage, it's the easiest to ignore. It's the easiest to say, oh, I'm too busy, it's probably nothing. But what we have to re-educate ourselves and reprogram ourselves is to say, this could be nothing, but God forbid it's something. I must find it in its whisper stage. Well, we have our Detox Your Home program. So that's a very big program for the Cancer Schmancer movement, because the home, it turns out, is the most toxic place we spend the most time in, and ironically have the most control over. So we have devised the In, On, and Around You education program. What are you putting in your mouth, all the food you eat? What are you putting on your skin daily, one of the largest organs in the body? What are you cleaning and what are you gardening with? Start with that, because we are exposed to a cocktail of chemicals that no one even knows how insidious it is or how compromising it is to our health. And don't be a drone, don't be a stepwife, don't wait for research to tell you this is bad, because again, where there's profit involved, who's gonna provide the research that may be putting someone out of business? Err on the side of caution and dictate manufacturing trends with your purchasing dollars. Because at the end of the day, manufacturers don't want to kill you. They want to sell you, but they'll sell you anything you're willing to buy, which right now is anything. So we have to dial it back. Everything old is new again. Start thinking about everything that you do. I got rid of my microwave. I got an old school skillet on my stove. You want something heated up? Put it in the pan, baby. Or put it in your oven. But that doesn't change the molecular structure of the food. What's your toothpaste? The mouth is the gateway to everything. Does it have a little disclaimer on it for poison control? Throw it away. Don't use antiperspirant. That's making the most effective detoxifying function of the human body unable to function. You don't need that. Go to the men's room if you're a guy twice a day and wash your beds. But you can use a really natural, organic, deodorant that has ingredients that you understand that might have grown in your grandma's garden. If you eat a strawberry that's not organic, you might as well be eating a sponge soaked in pesticides. If you're playing on a ball field that was just sprayed the day before and you had to wait 24 hours, you think that in 25 hours it's safe for you if it's killing gophers and weeds? And we are slipping down a rabbit hole towards our own demise. And no one's going to turn this ship around but us. So just stop it. That if you give me your money, someone's going to find a magic pill to stop cancer. It's like cancer is well over 90% environmentally stimulated. It's our life. When I walk even into a room like this, the first thing I'm looking around at is that there's no fresh air. And there's industrial stuff everywhere that's off-gassing. And I'm looking at all the people in front of their computer screens, and I'm thinking, this is a cocktail. This is an unhealthy environment. And we have to stop just being unconscious to everything, because no one's going to care about you as much as you. And, we're kind of living in a minimum security prison. We just don't know it. Out of the daily products we use in the home, and we took out 11. It's really pathetic.
The makeup that you buy in Europe is very different from the makeup that you buy here from the same brands, because the ingredients are legally, they have to be different.
And food, there's whole countries that won't let GMO plants come into seeds, come in. That's no good. We do not need to be having pesticide and herbicides spliced into the genetic structure of the food we're eating. What is
Well, at
that?
least be informed, at least they need labeling. At least you need to know what you're eating.
Well, definitely, but until they pass that, just buy stuff that says non-GMO and 100% certified organic. USDA certified organic can be only up to 70%. So, if it says USDA, then make sure it also says non-GMO. If it says 100% certified organic, then it must be non-GMO. If you're a meat eater, you should be eating an animal that's living like a wild animal, grass-fed, pasture-raised. We're getting sick. 1 out of 2 men and 1 out of 3 women are predicted to get cancer. Babies are being born pre-polluted with 200 to 300 chemicals found in the umbilical cord. American women's breast milk has the highest percentage of flame retardant in it. And the kids of today, for the first time in U.S. history, are predicted to not live as long as their parents. So, something's got to give. Wake up. Once you wake up and smell the coffee, it's hard to go back to sleep. First of all, go to cancerschmanza.org and, learn how to transform from being a patient into a medical consumer. We have amazing tips. You have to know what the early warning whispers are of the cancers that may affect you. You have to know the tests that are available because they may not be on the menu at the doctor's office. You have to save your Christmas Club accounts for tests that insurance won't pay for, because the best gift you can give your family and friends is a long and healthy life.
Very often cancers at their earliest and most curable stages mimic far more benign illnesses like mine. But the woman with ovarian cancer, which is much more aggressive than uterine cancer, is often misdiagnosed for irritable bowel syndrome. When I meet a woman that says I have IBS, I say, honey, I hope that's what you got. But for a minute, step away from your gastroenterologist and go to your gynecologist and rule out ovarian cancer, because that is a disease that you do not want to be misdiagnosed about. 80% of all women with ovarian cancer will find out in the late stages, and over 70% of them will die.